Question 13, you're asked to sketch from go to woe all those particular graphs. Now they do vary in difficulty, and you will find yourself making use of the general quadratic in order to find x-intercepts at times. Now in the first instance, what we're going to do, we'll think about the following. The shape, it's going to have that nice smiley face. The y-intercept, in this instance, and that occurs when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 7, or the point -7, 0, -7. The x-intercepts, they occur when y is equal to 0. So therefore, x squared plus 6x minus 7 is equal to 0. And you should be able to factorise that by inspection pretty readily. X plus 7. Lots of x minus 1 is equal to 0 and 1. Now what remains is the turning point. Now I'm going to find the turning point in this instance by completing the square. Now halving and squaring 6 is 9. What I add, I subtract. So therefore the turning point at -3, -16. And what remains is for me to sketch the graph. Cheat a little bit here and just put my y-intercept where it just appears to fit, -7. Now on a scale, this is like a B-type question because I've had to use the turning point to locate the, complete the square to find the turning point and work it through on that basis. Moving on to 13b, I've got the case here where I can easily spot the y-intercept. When I discover or try to find the x-intercepts, I'm going to have to make use of the general quadratic formula in order to do that. It's a little bit messy, but we'll proceed through with it. It occurs when y is equal to 0. Now please notice you can use your calculator to assist you and also to double check your answers as you go. So working that through, x is equal to -b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over a. Now -6 all squared is 36, and that becomes plus 4 times 3 by 7. So x is equal to 6 plus or minus the square root of 120 over 3. Now, square root of 120 is going to have, it's going to reduce down a little bit. I'm just going to cheat a little bit, so-called cheating, and find that on my calculator. So I'm taking the square root of that, which becomes 2 root 30. Just correcting that, of course, because it is 2a. So therefore, x is equal to 1 plus or minus root 30 over 3. So I can write that as a statement, x is equal to 1 plus root 30 over 3, and x is equal to 1 minus root 30 over 3. Now to get a bit of a ballpark figure there, if I had to, ends up about negative 0.82, and you can see there that that's going to be, if I change that to an addition, I get 2.82. So it might just help me plot the graph in that particular instance. I now have to locate the turning point. I'm going to do that by completing the square. And as we've done before, halving and squaring that. So in this instance, I'll have my turning point at 1, negative 10. I can then make use of those facts to go ahead and graph the particular function. And just putting in the pertinent points, negative 10 there, and I'm going to have negative 0.82 about there, and 2.82 about there. I've got my shape, I've got my y-intercept, I need my turning point at 1, negative 10. And I'll quickly label up my graph.